All right. So, just want to say peace to everyone out there. This is going to be our first episode of Open Studio Live right here at the Just Made Media studio in Chicago, Illinois, right downtown here in the Loop. And it's my pleasure to bring my homie right here, a longtime DJ from Chicago, currently now resides in Houston, Texas, my man DJ Real One. All right.
What's good, man?
Chilling,
Appreciate
man.
you having me down in the studio for the second time, man.
Yes.
I love coming down here, you know.
All right. So we'll just jump right into it. Yeah, man. So, and even before I get into some of the details with Real One, I just want to say, peace to everyone who's been supporting Just Made Media so far. Peace to all my friends and family back home in New York. Been rocking with me since Stone Town System. This is a new endeavor. Stone Town System's not over, but Just Made Media is a new live streaming and video studio, and we have a recording studio right in the other room, and looking forward to collaborating with everyone locally here. And this is going to be some of our online content that's going to go out to all the platforms and all the different services out there. So I was pleasure to become acquainted with Real One. He had a lot of great stories about being a DJ here in Chicago for many years. We kind of come from a similar era, you know what I'm saying? And so we're going to get into a few minutes with Real One. He could talk a little bit about that, but also then look forward. Real One's going to do a live production set on the SP404. So he's going to get into some of his original beats, you know what I'm saying? So, so let me ask you, Real One, what were the first years that you kind of started thinking about, seeing the music and getting into DJing?
Well, I go way back. I used to listen to it, hip-hop on the radio as a youth. I'm talking like 12, 13 years old. And I'd say right around 1995, I started to, think about actually being a part of the culture,
right.
Hip-hop culture. So I went out and bought some Gemini turntables, man. And,
yeah, that's what most people start
that's
on.
what we all start on. And, I just started buying records and messing around, because back then, mixtapes were the thing. So I would always buy the mixtapes from all the DJs. And I said, I could do that too,
Word.
I thought it was easy, but it really wasn't, and then, I started really getting into it heavy around like 97, 98, when I started doing a radio show actually down the street at Columbia College.
Word. And what was that radio show called?
Illinois.
Gotcha.
The Illinois, just like Illinois, and I did that for about 5 years. That's kind of when I was really heavy in the scene around that time. Mm-hmm. So about 97 to about 2002.
Word. So let's tell us a little bit about the kinds of venues that you were playing, or what were the kind of events? Were they parties? Were they battles? Were they, what were some of the things that you was getting into?
Well, actually, I first started when I bought those Gemini tables at I think it was Guitar Center. They had a DJ battle.
Cool.
So I was like brand new at this thing, and here I am trying to like scratch with my nose, trying to do all that fancy. And looking back, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But that was what I was going to be, a battle DJ.
Right.
But then I realized that wasn't really for me. So then I started doing more like parties and clubs and events like that. So it started at like loft parties, house parties, and then it eventually led me to DJing for some local acts as well. Mm-hmm. So I did some big stages like House of Blues,
nice.
Metro. These are Chicago places. I even traveled like New York, Detroit for as a DJ for Erratic Static. I did that for a while.
Okay.
And that's kind of what took me to another level of DJing. Like, I'm not your typical like scratch DJ. I can do all that, but I'm not a battle DJ. I'm more of a club, rock a party type DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? I have a similar experience with that. I'll just briefly get into it, but I can relate to being a club head. Some people don't know the art form of being a club DJ, and sometimes it's being really deep into a certain subgenre, but big shout out to all the club DJs out there, the working DJs who are just out there every week, every month, holding down residencies. It's hard work, you know what I mean? Showing face, being cool with the promoters and management, and dealing with all the ups and downs that just come with a difficult grind, and having to stay digging for your records, and being on point with that, and reading the room, and just being everybody's friend the best you can, aside from, we'll say, some of the negative things that may come with the job, you know what I mean? So
It's funny you should mention the records because, we talked about that earlier on the side. A lot of DJs now don't know about that back in the day you had to go out. If you're spinning on Friday night, Thursday you would go out and buy all the, the records that you needed, or, somebody might have requested something last week that you didn't have.
Right.
And you had to go to the store and actually physically buy the record just to help your craft,
That's right.
And, a lot of times, to be honest with you, I wasn't making money. All the money that I was being paid would go right back into the craft,
That's right.
So,
That's right.
You know how that goes.
Yeah. And, that's part of this. You got a love for the art, but you got to invest into yourself and invest into your craft. You know what I mean? So, word. All right, so then let's fast forward a little bit. Actually, I wanted to talk to you more about the club stuff, but I didn't know this group that you were touring with. So
okay,
I'm really interested in share with us a little bit about that time that you were going on tours and stuff.
So my first DJ gig at a party was this all ages spot on Grand and I forgot where it was, but anyways, it was all ages party, and these guys saw me DJing, and they needed a DJ, and that group was Erratic Static.
Okay.
So I believe this is around 97, about 97, 98, and so I became their DJ, and I toured with them. They're a local group here. A lot of people might have heard of them. They're kind of legendary in the underground scene. So I toured with them for a short time, and they put out some records, and eventually we kind of parted ways. I got busy with some stuff, and they did their thing.
Sure.
But if you look them up, you'll find some dope music for sure.
Word.
I didn't do any production. I didn't even do any DJing on the albums. I was just strictly, back then you had to have a DJ in the background playing your record.
No doubt.
Before the, Serato, you actually had to have the instrumental and you would play it for them. You know how that goes.
No doubt. Plenty of that myself, doing showcases and doing my own music. So, and let's get back to the club thing. So, because I remember one night when we were just chilling, you were telling me about some of the years, and it sounded like a cool little history you were getting into. So, what were some of the first clubs that you felt like, damn, like now I'm really like established, like, you know what I mean? Or, some of the events, and then I'm going to blow the spot a little bit, but you told me that you were once considered one of the kings of crunk here in Chicago. So I want to get into that too.
Put me on blast like that. But we're going to get into that, though, for sure.
Word.
So basically what happened, I'm a very big underground hip-hop DJ in the scene. On the radio, that's all I played was the underground. So obviously when you would go to the clubs, that doesn't last very long. I mean, you could play it, especially out here in Chicago, you could play it for an hour from 9 to 10. But when the ladies start coming in, that doesn't sell.
Right.
So I was always the underground guy, in the early days. And then my other partners, they would come on with the reggaeton or the reggae or, the house music. But I would kind of refuse to get into it. So eventually, I had to kind of step my game up. So I started playing a little bit more club music, a little bit more commercial hip hop, as you would call it. So I would say, Zentra nightclub. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. That was a big spot back in the day out here. I started doing maybe like once or twice a month there, and I knew that's when I was kind of in the building per se. Like I was actually, I'm kind of killing it. I'm spinning at Zentra,
right.
or Metro. I'm opening up, doing a set at Metro.
Right.
So those were days that I felt were really when I felt like I was in the scene. People might have not known me, but at the time, I think if you see my name on a lot of flyers,
no doubt.
I'm pretty much all over the place. I did open up for House of Blues for Jurassic 5 once.
Nice.
That was a big one. Was it Dougie Fresh? Opened up for him at forgot what that one was at. Maybe Congress Theater, maybe.
Word.
Yeah, I did a lot of shows where, as a DJ set opener, but he wants to talk about King of Crunk.
Yeah, because
I don't care about Dougie Fresh. Let's hear about that.
No. I mean, first off,
I'm just
I
kidding,
love
man.
Dougie Fresh. That whole era of Harlem and beatboxing, and that man. If you see him on Instagram right now, he looks like he's in his 30s still.
Saw him
Like
dancing,
he's and I'm only saying it because unfortunately, like take the pandemic and there's been a lot of like great hip hop guys. They've unfortunately passing away, man. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
So it's great to see one of the early pioneers who's leading that good example. Like take care of yourself and all that. And he really could go out on the stage and kill it still.
Yeah, for sure.
For real. But but you know what? I'll just briefly say, I want to say something about Crunk real quick, because like even for me, had a similar experience to you. I was back in New York and I was mostly downtown and Brooklyn a little bit DJing. And when Crunk hit, like all the DJs had to really, like you had to consider it.
Even in New York, huh?
Even in New York. And Crunk comes from the South. So as it migrates up to places like Chicago and New York, all the working DJs had to really make that decision, like, do I do Crunk? So for me, I kind of had a respect for it from afar because I just saw the funness in it. Even though if I was sitting around like in my crib, like later on, I might not play that music, but it had a high energy. And to be honest, I saw nights where Crunk was on for about 2 hours and it just was insane. Like people were losing their minds. So I was just like, yo, it may not be my thing at first, so it was new to me, but I had to respect it. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow,
it was hard. It was hard for like my homies to understand what I'm doing here,
right?
Because on the flyers, I can show you some later. It would say shout out my guy DJ Score. It would say DJ Score, reggaeton, hip hop, and then my guy DJ Shabazz. I would say old school hip hop. House, or for instance, and then under my name, DJ Real One, it would say Crunk, like right on the flyer, like right on the flyer. So they knew they were coming to the party. This guy was going to play Crunk, so they know I was going to get turned up. So
it's a great story, man.
I think the thing about it is that back then I wasn't mad at it because it reminded me of early hip hop from like the 79, 80, hip hop. It was very basic. So Crunk was very basic, and all they were doing was just trying to get the party hype. Like they weren't talking negative. They were just kind of just having fun.
That's right.
When I would play it, I mean, people would go nuts. They would lose their mind,
Yeah.
And
I mean, something, what that reminds me a little bit is like the music sounds different, but with the whole, what's my man from like DC, DJ Cool.
Yeah.
With the whole
kind of similar,
call
and response,
just like hype man lyrics and
right.
You know what I mean? There's always going to be a place for those records, and I think that's its own craft because when you're in the studio and you're making that kind of music, you're literally closing your eyes, imagining like what would happen on the floor when this drops.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like New York gets Fat Man
exactly.
Scoop, for example. That's his own craft.
True.
You know what I mean? So so big shout out to everyone who can actually like dive deep into the world of saying, I'm just gonna like rip this floor apart. Like, you know what I mean? So
So to finish this Crunk story, I actually went to Nashville once to the Crunk Awards, I believe it was, or something. I just have to put this story out there. And my name was on the flyer with a couple other DJs, and the local DJs from Nashville were gonna spin, but they put me on first. And in Chicago we have kind of a style of hot mixing, which stems from the house music.
Right.
So we mix kind of fast, like one verse in, then next song, one verse, next song. That's just kind of how I mix as a DJ. If you ever see me.
Right.
So, anyways, I played all the smash hits, and I kind of tore it down. I was doing doubles, like doing tricks with crunk music, scratching, and basically they were standing on the side, like this, just mad.
No doubt.
They were mad, and I kind of tore it down.
Because you
I
can't
tore
be
down the set,
represented.
and they did not expect that. This white boy coming from Chicago going to play crunk and kill it. So, anyways, they couldn't really follow me because I played all the joints.
Right.
And then I just kind of dropped the record and walked out. Not dropped the mic, dropped the record and walked out.
Right. That's
that
a
is my
classic
crunk story, man. Bring the hip hop skill set. What I do is I bring the hip hop skill set to that type of music, and I respect DJs that can do that with.
Yeah.
At the club scene.
No doubt. And it's amazing what just a little hip hop sensibility, how far that can go. You can spin almost any kind of music. If you have just some patience to kind of like see what the beat is and what the vibe is, and just throw a little baby scratch in there, just a little back and forth between the two records.
Right.
Because, no disrespect to like a lot of, your average nights when you go out and you see DJs nowadays, but I think they're kind of afraid to kind of get to handle the record, if you will.
Yeah, they're scared.
So, and my thing is, I'd rather see someone try than never do it at all. You know.
I used to break records too, like literally throw them down, break them. Yeah, I wish we had camera phones back then, because there's a lot of stuff that I wish I could share with people.
Right.
Once the crowd was just so hype, as a DJ, we feed off of you, the crowd. So I just saw him going crazy, and I just took the record and smashed it, and and I threw it in the crowd.
No doubt.
It's just a vibe.
It's rock star shit.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel you. All right, so let's move on to this next phase. This will kind of usher us into the set. But so I'm like you though. Even though I've been a club DJ for many years, my heart and my roots and my music is with underground hip hop. To me, that's never going to die, because there's always going to be a human need to not only be yourself, but to have a platform where you can express yourself in a kind of like unadulterated way. No holds barred. Say the things you got to say. Make beats that sound the way that you got to make them. I can appreciate that with underground hip hop. You know what I mean? So,
yes.
So, tell us a little bit about how you started getting into production more, and the kind of artists you were dealing with, and and just where do you see your production now, and that kind of thing.
Well, after that kind of club era, I just felt it wasn't the music. I wasn't feeling it anymore. Around, let's just say 2007, we can say. And then I think we talked about it earlier off camera. Serato came on the scene at that time, and I just wasn't. I didn't want to invest more money after I invested thousands of dollars in turntables and records. So I decided, maybe this isn't for me anymore. So I kind of took a step back from the scene for about 2 to 3 years, and just, I didn't really feel it. I wasn't feeling the music. I wasn't feeling the vibe. And during that time, I thought about, let me maybe buy some equipment and, start making beats,
Right.
And at that moment, I started enjoying it. I can kind of be in my own world, my own zone, in the crib, and just zone out. So that's where that all started. I'd like to say around 2008, maybe.
Right.
And I went from different equipment. I've tried all types of equipment until I got where I am a few years ago, where I just strictly mess with one machine. Well, with the exception of this new one.
Right.
I shouldn't say that. I got two. Okay. But so I think I really enjoy being able to do it in my own time, my own space, and work with artists that I want to work with. Not someone pushing some music sound on me.
True.
I want to push my sound on them.
I hear you.
Yeah.
That's dope. It's dope. So, we're going to get into this set. We want to, we're happy to see, Just Made Media down here at the studio. We're grateful again for Real One to come. Looking forward to, he's going to do, 20, 30 minutes of just live beats, you know what I mean? So you could vibe out, get deep into what he's going to do with the music, you know what I mean? And I just want to say, thanks again.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me.
Interviews excellent. This feels good. We like the energy. This is a great way to kick off this series. Shout out to all the future artists that we're looking forward to reaching out to. There's going to be a lot of Chicago producers or DJs that are going to come through, do a set, Open Studio Live. Probably eventually we'll even extend it out to not just producers or DJs, but to maybe a singer or rapper or whatever it is that you might do out there. But let's see how it goes. Right now I do want to, feature kind of more from the beat side of things. And yeah, we'll get into it. Maybe look forward. I think we're looking in November, first or second week of November 2022. That'll be our next edition of Open Studio Live. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. Big shout out to my man 10%. He's behind the boards over there, running the engineers today, and he'll bring us into our commercial. Thanks.
DJ Real One.
DJ Real One.
DJ Real. DJ Real One. Blowing up your box. Done.
Everybody talks about me and scandalize my name. Everybody talks about me and scandalize my name. It makes no difference, baby. I've only myself to blame. Now listen. Now listen. Everybody talks about me and scandalize my name. Everybody talks about me and scandalize my name. It makes no difference, baby. I've only myself to blame. Now listen. Now listen. Please help me. Help me.
I beatbox, I'm shadow boxing. Inflection from the mono when my tone like cattle auctions. I'm livestock, golden boys fall when they battle Hopkins. That gut check, make a babbler turn to they tattle options. A wire youth, wise men jump from the liar's roof. The land on feet was underneath is deep, the entire root speaks to why the wise jump. Pay attention, I got you guys hard-headed, some wide lumps, that's why I'm wildin'. With the confidence of a loud Italian, Mother Earth is with me. That's why I'm wearing this proud medallion. Yeah, my ancestors, they stand with me. $100 project through a drop, stop playing with me. They say that he's a walking contradiction. Haters be at their wits' end. They mad because my shooters was able to get the blick in. I ain't quite that, but I ain't doing no sitting. It's that Mapumziko, Swahili for intermission. Go.
Bless you with a new joint. Shit you never heard. This one is murder. Bless you with a new joint. Shit you never heard. This one is murder. Bless you with a new joint. Shit you never heard. This one is murder. Bless you with a new joint. Shit you never heard. This one is murder. Bless you with a new joint. Shit you never heard. This one is murder. Bless you with a new joint. Shit you never heard. This one is murder. This one is murder. Bless you with a new joint. Shit you never heard. Shit you never heard. This one is murder.
I'm taking it back, come follow me on a journey to see a for real MC. The mind tricks the body, body thinks the mind is crazy. Whatever's lazy, when I get the flow, I'm Swayze. I break, you take. Whatever type of shit the nigga buckshot make. The incredible, lyrical, and original. You the killable if you wanna take a pull. Whatever I see, I attack. My back, fuck that. The devil lurks and my heart irks for the hell. Look into the eyes of a nigga who fell. I hit my head on the concrete to beat the feet. Another dead in the street. Bullseye, direct hit, don't miss. But how many MCs must get this?
How many MCs must get this? How many MCs must get this?
Get this.
How many MCs must get this? How many MCs must get this?
When I get the flow,
must get this? How many must get this?
get this. How many MCs must get this? I could break it down like whatever you want. You wanna like this, I hit you this, but you get this when I piss. It's the buckshot, rockin' not quick. Get off my I rope 'em up and boot 'em up, then shoot 'em up. Whatever, I'm clever because I wear my leather in the winter. I enter the stage, nigga cock and gauge, I bust some off, so I'm awful. And then I leave the stage, I'm just a crazy maniac, murderer, murder type thinking. Your ass, I see you blinking, I wet him. Then forget him, never should've bet him. But he was talking to my man, so I had to get him. Yup, you can get the fist, whatever. But how many MCs must get this? Get this.
How many MCs must get this? How many MCs must get this?
When I get the flow,
How many MCs must get this?
how many MCs must get this? I got a nigga on scope through the eye of a needle, but to have the nigga buck on the mic is illegal. Pain as a nigga brain, I'm going insane. Pound after pound, I can't stop the brain. Pick up the boot, better be jetty with the loot. Don't try to walk with a switch, cute. You just getting me sick, my dick can ride on the regular. Ken Predator, etc. Yeah, right. So fuck what this about? Get in 1993, motherfuckers get this.
How many MCs must get this? How many MCs must get this?
Get this.
How many MCs must get this? How many MCs must get this?
When I get the flow,
How many MCs must get this? How many MCs must get this?
get this.
How many MCs must get this?
How many MCs must get this?
one. It's my world. He the illest.
It's higher.
H-Town, cause he's the real one, yes, the funky feel one. He's the real one, yes, the funky feel one.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Check 1, 2. Coming through the mic there? Word. All right. So, yeah, just want to send a big shout to Real One. That was great, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Just had to do it real quick on this machine right here. You know.
Sounded excellent, man. There was a lot of good vibes in there.
Yeah.
A couple samples I recognized. Most of them I didn't. No, let's keep it real.
I can never fool this guy, man.
Nah, I mean, I'm a digger. Just like this guy's a digger.
You already know.
We come from that era, from that craft. You know what I mean? We do our thing. But all of us in the studio audience in here, pretty much the engineers and a couple good friends. But
yes, sir.
We was in here super vibing out, loving every minute of it.
Doubt.
In fact, I'm sitting here thinking like I can't wait till we start doing this shit live, because that would have been an excellent set in a little lounge or whatever, rocking the stage. Like everything was sounding great.
Yes, sir.
Over the system, man.
That's right, man.
Yo, did your thing, brother.
No doubt, man.
Love that shit. All right, man. So, sending this one out. This was Open Studio Live. This is our first taping. Many more of these to come. Big shout out to Just Made Media. We got Gigi over there. Big Zach. John Temperson. And DJ Zesto Q in the house. Representing Stone Sound System and Just Made Media right here in downtown Chicago. Peace and love. We'll see y'all the next time. Peace.